Have you ever wanted to notify your leads and your customers about maybe a new blog that you published on your website or just send them a notification, but dread having to send out emails one by one? Well, don't you worry, I have the solution for you. Hi everyone, Jasmine Burgos here, your ScoreCEO expert. In today's video, I want to show you how you can take a broadcast list and use that inside of a campaign. So you may ask, how would I even use this, or what would I even use it for? So let's make a scenario. So let's say that you just published a new blog on your website and you want your leads and your customers to know about this blog and really drive that traffic to your website. Now ask yourself, how would you even do this? Would you sit down and write an email to every single one of your contacts? Would you go inside the notes inside of ScoreCEO and just write a note and say, hey, I got a new blog, and send them the link? Well, you could do that, but let me show you a better and simple way of doing that. And that's where these broadcast campaigns come in. Using a broadcast list campaign, what it's going to do is it allows you to select every single person that you would like to add on to this broadcast list. And then you can use that list to create your campaign. So let me show you how you can do that inside of your ScoreCEO credit repair business software.
Okay, so now to the good stuff. Now we're going to build out our broadcast list as well as our broadcast campaign. Now we do have a video on how to create a broadcast list. I'll link it down below, but for purposes of this video, I will recreate it again. If you want to watch that other video, it's short, it's about a minute long. You can do that also. So let's start with the list. So the first thing we want to do is click on the lead and consumer. This will take us to the area where we have all of the leads and customers we have in our system. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to click this add list and tag. When we do this, it will open up this section that we see here, and you can click select all to select every single person that's on that page. If you do want to extend this, you could extend it up to 50. But again, you can choose every single person that's on that list, or you can do it individually by selecting just the people that you would like. Now, once we've done that, we want to move on to clicking add to broadcast. What this is going to do is going to open up the pop-up where we can do either two actions. We can create our broadcast list, or we can use an existing broadcast list, either or. In this case, I'm going to show you how you can create a new broadcast list, because the selecting of an existing one is just going to the drop-down menu and selecting it. So let's go in and create a new list. So we'll click the create new list. Then we're going to name our list. Naming the list is super important because it's going to help identify what this list was used for. And I'm going to use blog promo. And then we're going to go ahead and type in the description. So you can see I really just want to use this content to be able to drive that traffic to my website. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click create an ad. That's going to automatically create, save it, do all that good stuff for me. As we can see here, it's letting us know that it was saved and assigned successfully. So now we can move on to our next part. The next part is creating that campaign. So let's start by going into our configurations bubble and clicking on campaign. This will take us to our campaign manager where we can start doing the building process. What we want to do is click the create new. And then here we want to start filling this out. And just like any other campaign, it's going to require a title. So let's put in the title, and we're going to call this blog promo because I want to promote that blog. Still on the scenario that we talked about earlier today. So then in our campaign category, we want to choose the correct one. Okay, so you can really choose any of them. You can choose marketing if this is just for marketing purposes. And if you want to do system event for system notifications, you can. So it's really going to depend on the type of content. In my case, I'm just going to stick it with the marketing because it is promoting and it is more of a marketing piece. Now, the next thing is our campaign type. In the drop down menu, this is where we're going to select our broadcast list. So as you can see, we have many different options, but today we're going to work on the broadcast list. and then we're going to type in our description. Okay, now that we're done with this, we're going to click next to move to our next step. Here's where we're going to select that broadcast list that we created. Here we can see that we have the blog promo. That's the one we just created. We're going to click that plus sign to add it in. Here it lets us know what is the stop criteria, which would be if you deleted that person that's on that list from here, then they wouldn't get that email content. Now let's move on to the next step. Now here's where the magic happens. It's building out the campaign. So if it's really going to depend on what you want to do. So let's start with our first step, and we're going to go to our step type. If we click this drop down menu, we're going to see that there's many options and many different things you can do. So you can send out an email, you can create a to-do for either yourself or an administrative person, a salesperson, customer service representative, or you can send a text message, create a canned note, apply a tag, or remove a tag. So it's really just up to you what you really want to do. In this case, since we really just want to maybe promote the blog, I'm going to do 2 steps to this campaign. I am going to send an email, and I am going to also send a text message. So I'm going to apply both of these, okay? So I am going to do the first one, which would be an email. Now on my start date here, I'm going to define when I want this to start. So let's say I posted and published this blog today, and I want this content to go out tomorrow. Then in here, I can put in day 1, and that will go the next day. Now what we want to do is we want to put in the name of the step. The name of the step will just help you really identify what this step is for. If you're revisiting this blog again at some point, you want to know what was on that step. So here I'm just going to send email out, promo blog, June 2024, for example. That's just going to help me know I created a blog in June of 2024, and this is just a promotional email that I'm sending out. Now it's time for the actions. So in the actions, we want to establish what's going to happen. We want to know who this is coming from, who it's sending out to, and the template that we're going to be using. So who is this coming from? Here we can choose in the drop-down menu different options. If we choose CRO admin, it's going to come from the admin of the account, the original admin. So we would see that here. Now, if you want it to be sent out maybe from the salesperson or the customer service representative, whichever you would like, you can choose that. In this case, I'm just going to stick with the CRO admin, and then I am going to go to and who I want that to go out to. So if this is going to specifically out to specific customer base or lead base, we can choose that. In this case, I'm just going to keep everyone because I want everyone on that broadcast list to go out. I don't want to identify it separately. So I'll just keep everyone. Now we have our template. In our template, we can click the drop down menu and we can choose from our existing template base if we already created that template. If we did not, then that's when we would come in and create that template. Now to create it, we would click this plus sign here, and that's going to open up for us to build out our template. Now, if you need help building out a template, you don't know what to say, I recommend using an application called ChatGPT. Just prompt it, tell it what you want it to write, and it'll create for you the content, something nice. And if you don't like it, you can keep on prompting it to say something else. What you would proceed to do is write in the template name, the description, and the subject. Then we want to make sure that we choose the correct template group. For broadcast lists, we want to choose general template. That's going to classify that. So we want to keep it under general template, okay? And then in the template area here, you're going to add in your content that you created. And always keep in mind to use this little pencil here. These are where you can find our variables. And the variables will give you all the different type of variables that you can use to add on more personalizations to these emails. Now, once you're done building out that email, you want to go all the way to the bottom and click save. That's going to do is going to save that email and it's going to populate it here for you. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to our next step. And I'm going to click here, add a step. Now, my next step that I want to do is I want to create a text message. So we're going to go ahead and send the text. And maybe I don't want it to go out the same day. Maybe I want it to go out maybe 3 days after, right? We sent them the email today. Maybe 3 days after, we'll send them a text message to promote that blog. Okay. So then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to write our description, and I'm just going to copy this one for reference here and then switch out email to text just for this purposes. And then same thing. Who do we want this coming from? Why not? Maybe this time, instead of it coming from me, maybe I want it to be the customer service agent, just because they have a little bit more communication time to time. And I think this would be a good person that if they see the email, they're going to be ecstatic to open it up. Sorry, if they see the text message, they'll probably be excited to open up this message and read through it. Now here we can choose from our database of templates for our text messages, or we can click the plus sign to create our text message. Kind of works the same way. We want to put the template name and the description, and also choose the category, which we would choose the general template category for broadcast campaigns. Okay, then we'll start typing in our text message here. Once we do that, we will click the create button. That will go ahead and create our text message template, and then we can just choose it from the drop down menu. Now, once I have completed that, and this is a 2-step broadcast campaign, I'm just going to click finish. And then here we would have successfully created our broadcast list campaign. Now, if I want to start this today, all I have to do is come into the edit button and click this start button. As we can see here right now, the status is paused. So any campaign that you build out, it will not start until you start that campaign. The purpose of this is just so you can make sure that it started whenever you want it to start. So I'm just going to click start. And here we have successfully created our broadcast campaign. And that's basically about it. It's super quick and easy, and it's a fast way for everyone that you want just to send them out a quick email regarding something to your whole database or a specific client. You can do so. So if you like these videos, remember, click that thumbs up button or subscribe to our channel for more tutorials and videos like this. Thank you for tuning in, and see you on the next one.